Hey, welcome to Just Be Handy. I stored my zero turn, which has the hydrostatic ZT-3100. Alright guys, I'm going to start this up, warm up the hydrostatic oil so I could drain it easier, and then I'll get the unit up on those wooden ramps that I usually use, that you see me using. Another thing is, it's April 2nd, and you could see here it's snowing pretty good. So it's a good day to do this before it's time to start cutting grass. Alright guys, I'm letting it warm up a bit so that the hydrostatic oil can be warm enough to flow when I'm trying to drain it. Alright guys, you can see I've got them on, I lifted the zero turn on the wooden ramps that I usually show. Again, these become very handy. You can work on cars that are very low to the ground, drive up, and even like for this zero turn, it gives me an additional 6 inches of clearance to work underneath this. And yeah, I'll be draining the hydrostatic and then replacing the filters as well. Alright guys, loosen the fill hole right up there. As you can see, I took that back and then I'll take it out, but do that first before you go draining any oil. If you can't get that out, you don't want to go ahead and drain the oil and then you can't really fill it. So definitely take the fill hole, the fill plug out first, and then you could undo the filter. So guys, just to be able to get that filter wrench on, I had to take the brake off so that this guy right here would go down so I can get the filter wrench on. Otherwise it was in the way, it was in the up position and I couldn't get the filter wrench on. And as you can see now, I broke the seal. I'm waiting for it to drain a little bit more, and then I will go ahead and put a new filter on there. Again, always make sure you get these plugs out from the top, because what you're going to do is put the new filter on both sides and then fill the reservoir up till you see them start to drip, and then you put these back on. And yep, I did not wear gloves, so I did cut my finger, but hey, that goes with the territory when you don't wear your gloves. Alright guys, here's what I'm going to use this time. I'm going to use the Royal Purple synthetic oil for my hydrostatic with extra zinc. The zinc is really important because that is going to prevent wear in your gears with the hydrostatic, and also the seals will be better. The first 75 hours, as they recommended, I just used the VR1 racing oil. It's a non-synthetic, again with high zinc for engines that, the older engines that had the hydraulic lifters that were flat lifters against the cams. The high zinc is very important, so that's why I used the VR1 the first 75 hours, and then I'm going to go to that synthetic Royal Purple with the high zinc. Now another thing I'm doing is I'm going to go with the this Rotary oil filter. It's made in the US, and also it has better drain holes, I think, as you can see. And then yeah, it's the same size, and it also says that it replaces the Hydrogear 52114 filter, and it also has better micron filtration than the Hydrogear filter, the same 52114. And the Hydrogear filter is made in China. Not that I have anything against that, because I know Hydro Gear does a good job with their stuff, but again, this is the aftermarket filter, and it's a lot more cost effective, and I think a better overall filter. Here's the number. I'll leave a link in the description below. And yeah, and then maybe you don't have to go with the royal purple synthetic, but make sure it is with high zinc, because the high zinc content is really what you would like for the hydrostatic. Or you could go with a non-synthetic oil 2050 that has high zinc, like this Valvoline here. Again, you'll save yourself a few dollars. I did that after the first 75 hours. Then I'm going to go, now that I'm at over 400 hours, I'm going to go with the 2050 synthetic. Okay, another thing is when you take off the old filter, make sure that the gasket came off, and definitely look in the spot where the filter came out to make sure that the gasket did come off, and clean the area before you put the new filter on. So that's what I'm going to do next. It's completed draining, so that's what we'll do, is put the new filters on. Okay, I ran the filter down till the gasket touched, and I'm going to mark this as my full turn mark. They say to do 3/4 of a turn to a full turn so that you don't have any issues with leakage along the way. So I'm going to go, so this mark is going to either be at the top or back here, and we'll just make sure it's either to the horizontal or it'll be totally vertical, and we'll know that we got that 3/4 to 1 turn mark. So that's what we're going to do next, is turn it, tighten it till this is either at the top, and if we can't tighten it anymore, we can stop it, but if we can make a full turn, we'll make a full turn. And that's what we're going to do next. Okay guys, I did the same thing on this side. I started here, went clockwise, and that 3/4 mark is right here pointing straight down. So we got this one tightened down 3/4. Now what we're going to do is start filling the oil up in the reservoir till it starts dripping out of here. One may start dripping before the other, but as soon as it does that, we'll stop, close them up, and then fill the reservoir up to where it needs to be. So again, make sure you always get that plug out first before you go take the oil filters out, and we'll see, we'll just keep filling the top till oil starts to drip out of there, and that's why we have the oil pan here still. It's gonna come out of here, but we'll do it slowly. It's 2 quarts per side, so we'll fill up 2 quarts, 3rd quart will look, then slowly fill up the last 4th quart, because it may start coming out before that on one side versus the other. All right, let's do that next. Okay guys, so now we can start adding the oil in the reservoir, and we'll do it 1 quart at a time. All right guys, as you fill this up, it's going to take a while. It is 2050 weight, and for me today it's about 30 degrees in this garage. I'll probably warm it up a bit, but again, it's going to take its time to flow down. It's going to be about 4 quarts, so this is the 1 quart that I put in, and it's taking a little bit of time to go down, so we'll just keep it going. Alright guys, since I'm getting closer to the end of filling it up and leveling it, I put a 4x4 here and raised the deck to level the whole 0 turn, so that way it'll fill evenly between the 2 hydrostatics. And once they start to get full, I should start to see it to drip. I am on the 4th quart right now, and it is they're going to start dripping soon. It'll probably be 4.5 quarts before they start to drip down because of the lines going from the reservoir down. All right, we're almost there, guys. All right, guys, it looks like we're there. This one is definitely starting a little bit before the other one, so we'll plug it up and go from there. The torque is 10 foot-pounds on those, so I'll close that up. All right, so both sides started to drip at the same, basically about a 10-15 seconds difference. Now this is a 1/4-inch hex, and I'm going to torque them to 10 foot-pounds. They call 180 inch-pounds, which is about 9 foot-pounds, but the lowest on my torque wrench is 10, so that's what I'm going to do. There we go, 10 foot-pounds. And then do it to the other side. Now all that's left to do is to fill the reservoir up to that full when cold mark, so that you get all the reservoir to the right level. Then you'll start the vehicle, go back and forth, cycle it 6 to 7 times to get any air bubbles out, and then let it cool down and then fill it back to that level. So that's all that's left to do here. Again, I bought 5 quarts. It's going to end up using probably 1/8 of the 5th quart to get all that done. But that's kind of what you need to do with the hydrostatic here.